With Miss Fantasy here on Texas All-Star Wrestling. And Miss Fantasy, it's great to have you here today, and we want to talk to you a little later on about the $5,000 bounty that you've placed on the mask of the Texas Longrider.
That's right, Steve. I've got $5,000 on that mask because I know it's Scott Casey and I'm going to prove it, and I've got a lot of people ready to collect that.
You don't know it's Scott Casey until you get the mask off.
Well, the mask will come off.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a great program lined up for you today. Miss Fantasy will be here during the program. You're going to see Big Bubba in action as he'll be in a handicap match. Maybe, and we'll tell you about that. The Texas Longrider is here, and he goes up against a masked grappler who has returned to Texas All-Star Wrestling. Exciting tag team action as Fantasy, who is the manager of Mike Golden, puts Golden and Madril in the ring to go against Buddy Moreno, an exciting young Mexican wrestling star, Senor Lucha. Also, Zulu is here and returning to Texas, Polish Power Ivan Putski, and when he's around, you can see the Polish Hammer in action. Other great stars and that big weightlifting contest that we promised you last week, we've got it for you today. And the first thing that happened when we went into the Guadalupe County Coliseum in Seguin for this exciting hour was that Bubba was called out along with Armand Hussein of H&H Associates and the Magnificent Zulu, and the rules were being explained for the weightlifting contest that we were going to have. All of a sudden, appearing on the scene was the 400-pound Zambui Express, and he had this challenge to issue to Big Bubba.
Hey,
wait a minute.
Can anybody get in on this?
Oh, wait.
Can anybody get in on this, or is it just for sisters like him? What?
Well, he's no sissy, but if you got $1,000, you can get in on this.
I got plenty of money. Is anybody get in on this?
Anybody who wants to come in, I ain't keeping you out of this. If you got $1,000, you're more than happy to put your money up there. I know.
I don't think you can lift this weight.
I know I can.
In the first place, I think you're a sis anyway. You can't.
Well, after Big Bubba accepted the challenge of the Zambui Express, everything happened on the stage there where the weights were placed at the Guadalupe County Coliseum. They began to pound on him with those weights, and Big Bubba, though he is 431 pounds, was knocked down. They began to pound on that right shoulder, and the damage was being done for one purpose only. That's to keep Big Bubba from winning the $1,000 in the weightlifting contest that's scheduled later on in this program. Big Bubba was also scheduled to go into a handicap match, which is the first match on our program. We'll have to see what happens there. But as you can see now, the Polish Power, Ivan Putski, has come out to help Big Bubba out of a situation, and the Ivan Man is coming up later on Texas All-Star Wrestling. Can Big Bubba make it for the handicap match? We'll see right after this. And he just insisted that he had to go into the ring for the opening match where he faced two men. It's a handicap match. Let's go to the ring now and pick up this program. But Big Bubba was pounded by the Zambui Express and the Magnificent Zulu into that right shoulder. It gave Bubba a chance not to go out here. I told him he should wait, but it looks like he's going to try it with that injured right shoulder.
Well, one of Bubba's best attributes has never been intelligence.
Well, now, wait a minute. Bubba is a very nice person.
Nice, stupid. But, I mean, what does that make any difference? You know, here, you told me that Bubba's hurt, and he's wrestling two guys?
Right, handicap match. Down goes St. John. Down goes Gavigan. And they both come in for Big Bubba. They got top wrist locks, but they're not going to keep him. There they go again. Yeah. I'll tell you something, Gary Hart. Your $1 million man, Bruiser Brody, is going to have to face Big Bubba and the Texas Longrider inside the cage, and even Big Bubba with an injured arm looks pretty dangerous to me.
That is not exactly Gary Hart and Bruiser Brody, who he's wrestling, but he did just about knock that guy's head off.
He almost knocked it off. Now he stacks him.
I heard it up here.
Look here, 431 pounds. It's 1, 2, 3. You ought to worry about being in that cage.
If I wasn't in the cage with Bruiser Brody as my partner, maybe I would be worried. But
well, it seemed at one point in the match that Big Bubba may have re-injured or put a little more injury on that right shoulder. One thing you have to remember, a small injury may turn into a large injury when you get in and start throwing around 200-pound men. We'll have to see what happens to Big Bubba in a weightlifting contest coming up a little later on. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we want to take you to the Freeman Coliseum in San Antonio and show you a United States Heavyweight Championship match. Austin Idol defending that title against the Cowboy Scott Casey. Dives in there with that elbow. Here's the count. 1 and 2, but he picked him up by the hair. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Who's this running down here from my left? It's El Madril. El Madril is in pounding on Casey. El Madril has come into the ring to help out Austin Idol. Here comes Mike Golden. Fantasy is there. Here's Golden. Wait a minute. Golden knocked Idol down. And now they're going after Casey. Golden come in and knocked Idol down. And now they're both going after Casey. It's Al Madril and a Golden boy. Flipping Casey into the rope. Madril clotheslines him. What a turn of events. Scott Casey had everything going his way. It looked like he was going to win the United States Heavyweight Championship. Here is Idol thrown out of the ring by the Golden boy. And now it is Madril and Golden has Fantasy's shoe. And he laid that high heel right across the head. There goes the referee out. Madril and Golden, I can't believe it. Oh, they have done the damage to the returning Scott Casey. Madril pounding Casey. Madril holding, Golden punching, Casey kicking, Madril kicking. I can't believe what's going on in the ring. Down goes the Cowboy. Madril and Golden really punishing Scott Casey. They're going for a pile driver. There it is. Here comes Idol with the chair. Idol is going after Madril. Idol is going after Golden. Austin Idol is cleaning out. Austin Idol is cleaning out. Immediately following that match, we picked up Austin Idol for this interview. Are you in the match with Scott Casey defending that title? Al Madril and the Golden Boy come, and when it was all said and done, you actually helped Scott Casey out of a spot.
You know, I want to trim the fat and get to the meat right here, Steve, and I want it to be perfectly clear. I want you to understand this, and I want every man, woman, and child in the sight of Austin Idol's face and in the distance of Austin Idol's voice to know one thing. I'm no saint, man. Hey, you know, if I knock a man down, I want it to be understood. If I knock a man down or I kick him down, I'm not going to reach my hand out and help that dude back up, brother. Oh, no. I'm going to kick him right in the teeth and make sure he stays down. You understand what I'm talking about? And I don't care who it is, you see. And sure, the other night, I guess we were thrown together by circumstances, makes no difference. And people were screaming. I heard the yells. Oh, yeah. I looked around, and I saw people standing up. And they were yelling, Austin, Austin. Oh, yeah. And believe me, I'm not going to deny it right now. I got some goosebumps. I got chills running up and down my spine. I broke out in some hot flashes. And, yeah, I kind of dug it. Yes, I kind of dug it, but I'm telling you right now, whether it's Bruiser Brody, oh yeah, 6'6" and over 300 pounds, whether it's those two big gorillas of Zambui Express, I don't care if it's Mike Golden or if it's Al Madril, it makes no difference, you see, because I'm the United States Heavyweight Champion, and I'll go all around the area to represent this belt, and I'll represent it right here against any one of those jerks.
I know you are traveling the world defending that belt. You defended in the NWA Alliance. You also the ICW.
NWA.
And the AWA. And we are going to take the cameras around the country one of these days and show your defense of some of those titles.
Bring them on. Just remember, the women's pet, the men's regret. Oh, San Antonio, Texas, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Well, Austin Idol, the United States Heavyweight Champion, is coming back to Texas, and he may be just looking for the Golden Boy.
Oh, really, Steve Stetson? Let me tell you what I think about Austin Idol. I thought he was a decent man, but he makes me sick. I want to throw up. He ain't nothing but a turncoat, and the Golden Boy is waiting for him. I'll negotiate a contract anytime, anywhere, with Austin Idol.
Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, because coming up next, the Texas Longrider against the Grappler. Remember the $5,000 bounty on the mask of the Longrider placed there by Fantasy. That's next.
Advance tickets available at the Elgin Chamber of Commerce and the Elgin High School office. Then in Austin at the Austin City Coliseum, Wednesday, April the 2nd, 7:30 p.m. Remember, kids' tickets on both those great cards, only $3. In Austin at the City Coliseum on the 2nd, you're going to be seeing a bull rope match. Scott Casey versus Al Madril. Al Gavigan versus the Grappler. A mixed tag team match. Buddy Moreno and Lydia Cortez join forces against the Golden Boy, Mike Golden, and Fantasy, who will be donning the tights in Austin that night. Kareem Muhammed of the Zambui Express, you're going to have your work cut out for you as you go up against Ivan Putski. You've been talking about Austin Idol, the U.S. heavyweight champion, and Bruiser Brody, the Texas Cup champion. But I would advise you that Ivan Putski would make a very difficult stepping stone.
Mark Nolte, you don't have to advise me of anything. The only thing you have to do is hold that microphone and let me talk. Austin Idol, I'm coming at you. You're a turncoat. You might even turn on your own mama. I don't want to kill you, but when I come in the ring against you, you're going to wish you was dead. I'm going to beat you half to death. Nobody come between the Zambui Express. You got to my partner some way. I don't know where he is, but you better believe I'm going to be looking for him. But I'm going to take the anger out on you. I'm going to take that United States title from you after I stomp you right through the mat. Bruiser Brody, and after that, I'm coming for you in the Texas Cup. You've been on the run ever since you won it. And as far as this Ivan Putski, I'm going to use you for a stepping stone to get to these two people. And I don't make promises that I don't keep. Idol, you're going to wish you was dead because I'm going to beat you just that bad. And Bruiser Brody, I'm coming for you next. So you get ready. You're $1 million man. I'm going to cut you in half. You get ready for the Zambui Express.
Miss Fantasy coming up now is the Texas Longrider. He takes on the masked Grappler. You have a $5,000 bounty on the mask of the Longrider. Is that right?
That is correct, and you know that is correct. And I'm going to have somebody, a good man, is going to collect that $5,000, and the Longrider is going to be proven to who he really is.
Well, let's go to the ring now and see what happens as the Texas Longrider battles it out.
Me too, because it apparently, Bubba is going into this cage match at a disadvantage. You said that he had an injured shoulder, right?
Oh, he had an injured shoulder that he received here on the opening of the program, but he didn't seem to have too much problem as he faced the two men in the handicap match. Took 1 minute and 43 seconds.
That wasn't Gary Hart and Bruiser Brody who he was facing.
Well, I'll go along with that as we watch the Grappler with a side headlock once again.
Let's remember something else. When an injury is sustained, the time that it causes you the least amount of problem is in the very beginning. As the muscle begins to get tight, as you cool down is when you feel the pain.
Nice move there from the Grappler. He covers up the Texas Longrider and gets a 2 count again. I'm kind of worried. We have the weightlifting contest scheduled for later on in the program, and I'm just going to have to wait to see. I understand that Ivan Putski and one of the medical crew are back there working on Big Bubba.
Let's remember, like I had said to you last week, I don't believe that Big Bubba in his best day could outlift this Big Zambui. This Big Zambui is a powerful man.
I know he's a powerful man, but I saw Big Bubba do 600 pounds.
I believe that is a big lie.
It's not a big lie. We've got it on tape. We did it out at the Olympic gym. We were there with the cameras, and we got it all. And I see no reason why Bubba probably can't go over 600 pounds here tonight. Can the Zambui pick up 600 pounds?
I truly would not know. I don't know that much about Zambui's training habits. But I do know that he's a powerful, strong man. Bruiser Brody told me that one of the strongest men that he's ever faced in the ring is the Big Zambui.
I'm sure when you weigh 400 and some pounds, you've got to be tough. But Bubba is 400 pounds, too. Look at that shot right there. A nice look at the Grappler and the Texas Longrider with a side headlock being applied on the Texas Longrider. It's going to be interesting to see if Big Bubba can come back for the weightlifting contest We're scheduled for the next match, the next segment, but I don't think we can have it then.
Knowing the type of person that Big Bubba is, he's going to try to weasel out of this one way or another.
He had a chance to weasel out of the match, and he didn't do it. There's a 2 count on the Longrider.
Let me say something. That's what I really respect and like about this grappler. Anytime he gets his man at a disadvantage, he tries for a pinfall. The name of the game is winning. 1, 2, 3. Beat your man in the middle of the ring, and this grappler tries continuously to beat his opponent. He wants the winner's share of the purse.
How many times have you seen the young wrestler come in and look like he has his opponent beat, and he keeps beating on him and doesn't pin him, and then all of a sudden the old pro comes back, turns things around, and there's a victory on the other side.
This will never happen to the grappler because he is a wrestler in the truest sense of the word. He wants to beat his opponent. He wants the winner's share of the purse.
Well, the Texas Longrider knocking the grappler down. Uppercut forearm. I want to tell all you fans, we're at the Wrestlathon every Monday night in San Antonio. Come on by, we want to see you. And we're going to be in Corpus Christi at Memorial Coliseum with Texas All-Star Wrestling Television on the road. That is on April the 10th on a Thursday night. I want to see all you fans in Corpus Christi. Texas All-Star Wrestling on the road. Here comes the grappler bouncing off the rope. The Longrider gets kicked. What do you mean, all right?
It's a very good defensive move. A very good defensive move. This grappler, I can see why the only way him to lose the Texas title was for them to utilize this new rule that they have in effect in the World Class Association. They took it from him by disqualification. I don't believe anybody could.
Leg over the bottom rope.
I don't think anyone could put his shoulders down to the mat for a count of 3.
I doubt that. I mean, he is difficult. He sure would. In behind, he goes with a face lock. Oh, that Texas Longrider comes out with a hammer lock.
It's a very fine wrestling match.
Great wrestling match.
Counter, counter, counter. They're trying to beat one another. They're using a lot of holds. They're conserving their energy. They're not wasting a lot of moves. This is one of the finest matches that I've had the chance to watch in quite some time. It's a very interesting match.
This is not Chicago style.
Well, it's not Bruiser Brody Gary Hart style.
Halstead Street.
Halstead Street is a nice street. You probably couldn't even go to the nice part of Halstead Street. Look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that.
Oh, boy. The 2 masked men have battled it out for 10 minutes here in this match.
See, this is why this Texas Longrider or Scott Casey is never going to beat Gary Hart or Bruiser Brody. He had a chance for a pinfall, and he didn't even go for it. The guy is a nerd. He's a moron. This guy is a complete flake.
Up in the air, the Longrider has the grappler. A nice atomic drop. Down goes the grappler in the corner.
He's asking the ladies in the audience, should I do it again? The fool should go for the pinfall.
He's going for the abdominal stretch, the submission hold.
You know how hard it is to make a man...
Wait a minute. Coming out over here on the left, it's Fantasy, Al Madril, and a Golden Boy. What are they doing here?
I have no idea. I'm not involved in this.
The grappler with a knee into the back of the Texas Longrider, Al Madril, and Golden. They're out here to collect that $5,000. They want to get the bounty. They want the mask of the Texas Longrider. He's down.
What imagine?
I can't believe this. Fantasy's out here cheering him on.
The grappler, I don't think you realize what's going on there.
Oh, he's going to shoot Casey into the double clothesline. There's a reversal. The grappler. And they were looking. They were stuck. Casey. Now Casey kisses Fantasy. They're going for the wrong mask. Hey, look here. All they saw was the mask. And as we said, it was confusing. Casey was about to be whipped into the double clothesline, and all of a sudden it was reversal. Golden Madril chased Casey back to the dressing room. They don't get the $5,000.
The grappler don't seem too pleased with Fantasy.
Casey, or the Longrider, whatever you want to call him, come out there and kiss this Fantasy again. He stole some more of that sugar.
I tell you, I really can tell right now that the grappler is very, very upset with this whole situation. He is very upset.
Well, Gary Hart, I'm still looking forward to seeing the Longrider and Big Bubba meet you inside the
One
cage
thing, when you're inside a metal cage, you can't run out, can you?
Thank you very much for being here, Gary Hart.
You're very welcome, and it was your pleasure as usual.
Now let's go down the ringside and pick up Mark Nolte as he gets Miss Fantasy and the Grappler out of the ring for this special interview.
With me now is Fantasy, the manager of Golden Boy Mike Golden. Fantasy, your plan to get the Texas Long Riders mask almost backfired.
Look, I want to say that it was a mistake. After all, I got a $5,000 bounty on that hood. I want to tell you something right now. I apologize to you, Grappler. They got carried away in the heat of things out there, and it wasn't meant. They got the wrong guy, and that's what I come to the
Listen,
ring
little
to
girl,
tell you.
okay? Just listen, okay? You see this mask right here?
Yeah.
This is my trademark in the sport of professional wrestling. I had this mask 5 long years, Daddy, and nobody puts their hands on it, and nobody's taking it off.
I'm sorry.
Including these guys. They better get it right. It says Grappler right here on my tights, okay?
Hey, I got $5,000 on that hood. $5,000.
Why didn't you tell me beforehand? I had him in a perfect situation right here. I had him whoop like a dog. If I knew there was $5,000 on it, brother, I would have got it for you.
Well, I'm offering you that $5,000 right now,
You
right
own,
here.
baby.
right
You
now.
own, baby.
Thank you very much, and I hope you accept my apology.
You own, baby.
I want to tell you something, Scott Casey. I don't know who you and that gorilla-looking Buddy Moreno thinks he is, but I am no kissing booth. And that'll be the last time you get your lips on these here things.
With me now is the Grappler, the only man to ever lose the Texas State Heavyweight Championship by disqualification. I know you're upset about that, but that gives you the opportunity to come to Texas All-Star Wrestling Challenge.
That's right, brother. The only man in history to lose the Texas heavyweight belt because of disqualification. But Austin Idol, Jack, I'm going to tell you something. To regain my image in Texas and everything I'm all about, I got to have that USA title, brother, heavyweight title around my waist. Now, Austin Idol, I know you're a great athlete and a great competitor, and I'm not putting you down. But they got a name for you when you're the greatest wrestler in wrestling today. They don't call you a great wrestler, brother. They call you the Grappler. Beat me if you can, because I'm after the U.S. heavyweight title, Idol. I don't care what kind of figure 4 legs like you got. I will have it, brother. It will be around my waist, and I'll get the $5,000 one way or another.
The Grappler's credential speaks for himself. He's a contender for any championship he goes after.
Fantasy, why didn't you tell the Grappler about the $5,000 on the mask of the Long Rider before he went into the match?
I thought everyone knew about that $5,000 I got Steve Sachs for that Long Rider's hood. That's why.
Well, you didn't get to see who the Texas Long Rider was during that match, but I'm sure that you've got other plans in store for him somewhere along the line.
You bet I do, Steve Sachs. And that man is going to be proven that he is Scott Casey. We all know he's Scott Casey, and so do you.
Well, you say that, but you don't know it for sure. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, because we're coming up with an exciting tag team match as Fantasy will put the Golden Boy and El Madril in the ring right after this.
The stars are...
Fantasy, you made a statement here not too long ago on Texas All-Star Wrestling that you personally would get in the ring with the Golden Boy and wrestle against Buddy Moreno if he could find a partner. You said he couldn't find one. Well, the people are watching right now as Lydia Cortez showed up. What a surprise.
Lydia Cortez, bow wow. She's a little dog Buddy Moreno found and brought down to the ringside. I want to tell you something. I want to tell Lydia Cortez something. She steps in that ring with me. I've been trained by the best, but I ain't going to wrestle her. I'm going to scratch her eyes out. I'm going to tear her hair out, and I'm going to beat her body till it's black and blue, Steve Sachs. That's all I want to do to her.
Well, now, that's those pretty harsh words. I know that you may have been trained, but I've never seen you in the ring wrestling.
Hey, don't worry about it, Steve Sachs. Whatever I say is right and true, and I can wrestle better than any woman in the state of Texas. But wrestling is not what I'm going to do to Lydia Cortez. I'm going to pull her hair out of her head. I'm going to strip her naked. And if everybody wants to come and...
Well, that's just going a little bit too far when you talk about stripping. Let's join the action now as we pick up the tag team match.
He's competed with every world heavyweight champion since Dory Funk Jr., and he's beaten a lot of them in non-title matches.
Oh, another one of those next wrestling style moves from Senor Lucha, but Madril comes right with him. And here he comes off the rope, Madril, and it's a reversal! Oh, and he goes over the back with that arm drag. Here he goes again. Hey, this man has learned well. Madril wasn't prepared for the drop kick. Well, now Madril, I wouldn't stand too long in the ring in one spot, because Senor Lucha will definitely catch him. Like you said, Steve, he is learning to act very well. And he's just taking this crowd by storm as this crowd gets up. Al Madril and Mike Golden right now are not having a good night. They're getting it. Buddy and Moreno and Senor Lucha with Lydia Cortez in the corner. And Lydia making sure that Miss Fantasy doesn't come into the ring. We're in Seguin, Texas, at the Guadalupe County Coliseum with Texas All-Star Wrestling on the road. Referee Harry Chandler now talking to Senor Lucha, but he is taking Madril's word for what is happening. Those were all great wrestling moves.
They were, but the referee's just doing his job right here. If Madril complains for the tights, he must check. He has to check. That's the rules. He doesn't have to call anything, but he does have to check. You know, Chandler's an excellent referee. He's just doing his job up there in the ring.
Side headlock by Madril. He says, I've got him now, Golden. Let's see what happens. They're on the ropes. Madril still holding on to the head. They're bouncing off the ropes now. Madril over the top, and Buddy Moreno has the forearm waiting for him.
Well, that's something else Madril didn't account on. The fact that Senor Lucha and Buddy Moreno apparently been working together. Now Moreno's going to get a little rough here as he goes into the eyes of Senor Lucha. Going to try to do something to slow him down because so far, Steve, to my surprise, Al Madril has not been able to keep up with Senor Lucha.
Well, he hasn't yet, but don't scratch the old veteran out. Senor Lucha comes up with a side headlock. Into the referee. Lucha holding onto the rope. Forearm from Madril. Forearm knocks Senor Lucha down. Now Madril turns things around.
This is going to be the key for Senor Lucha. We've seen what he can do on offense. The question is, can he take the punishment from such stars as Mike Golden and Al Madril? And Steve, as we both well know, these gentlemen can dish out a lot of punishment.
Right now, he needs to get out of there. He needs to somehow get over and tag out to Buddy Moreno. Here is 2-on-1.
Moreno's not helping Senor Lucha right now. Moreno's the one that's distracting the referee, giving Golden and Madril the opportunity to double team Senor Lucha, and Senor Lucha is going to have to get to the corner and tag. There's Senor Lucha firing back on Golden a little bit. Drop kick by Senor Lucha.
Twisting that arm, a forearm by Golden now as he stops Senor Lucha. Here comes Lucha over the top. He snatches Golden, has him down. Golden kicks out at the count of two. Lucha right back with an arm drag. One thing about the Mexican-style wrestling, they never stop. It's one quick move after the other, and there's the tag on the other side.
And here comes Buddy Moreno, who's also a master of the Mexican style of wrestling. Moreno now going to work on the arm by Golden. Steve, are you surprised at all the way Senor Lucha is not intimidated against the USA Junior Heavyweight Champion Al Madril? I thought he might be intimidated a little bit by this caliber of competition, but it doesn't look to me that he is at all.
I don't think he's worried at all. I'm sure he's got a few butterflies, but he's out here to prove to everyone that he can go with the best. Senor Lucha is up on the middle rope. He dives into the elbow of the Golden Boy. Well, the weightlifting contest, we're still checking on Big Bubba. The weightlifting contest is scheduled to come up next, but we'll just have to wait to see how Big Bubba's right shoulder is, because he took that pounding earlier in the opening here on Texas All-Star Wrestling from the Zamboni Express and the magnificent Zulu. Lucha thrown out of the ring. Miss Fantasy prancing around as you see Senor Lucha.
And Lydia Cortez quickly coming around to make sure Fantasy doesn't get in a cheap shot. And Lydia, speaking of not being intimidated, there's Lydia Cortez going after Fantasy. And she would look like she'd like to get her hands on Fantasy.
I don't know where Buddy Moreno come up with this lady. I understand her credentials are she is a great athlete, also a professional wrestler. I have not seen her in the ring. But look at Senor Lucha in there with the leg. Al Madril, Golden started in. Now here comes Golden again, and a kick to the back. Knock the young Mexican wrestling star off.
Veteran move by Golden, goes into the ring to draw Moreno in. Moreno going to check by the referee, and there goes Golden. And there's Senor Lucha right back on offense. This young man has just come in, and he's taken some punishment tonight, and he's absorbed it, and he's come right back. He refuses to get trapped in the corner.
Moreno working on the left leg of Al Madril here on Texas All-Star Wrestling. Here comes Senor Lucha diving into the left knee of Madril. Now that step inside toe hold. Oop, out goes Lucha. Here comes Buddy Moreno back in. Quick tags or no tags, I can't tell which.
Well, Terry Chandler doing a good job keeping. Senor Lucha's the legal man in. Moreno trying to get in, slip in without a benefit of a tag. Chandler right there to catch him. And this is a very difficult match to control. Chandler's doing an excellent job. Madril going into the eyes to break the hold by Senor Lucha. Now they've got him trapped in the corner again. Here's the tag. Here comes Mike Golden.
Golden grabs the head of Senor Lucha, throws a fist to the top of the head.
And here comes Buddy Moreno.
I do not believe. He got the 3 count, and then here comes Buddy Moreno in. A shoulder knocks Golden down. Over the top. Oh, Fantasy holds the rope. She held the rope down so that Moreno would go to the top. There comes Lydia Cortez. I want to see this. Lydia Cortez going after Miss Fantasy. Come on, Lydia. Here comes Madril over now, and Golden, they pull her off as they got rid of Senor Lucha. And now Fantasy is slapping Lydia Cortez. She is laying it in there. Here comes Moreno back in. He's got a chair, and that gets rid of Golden, Madril, and Fantasy. Oh, my. Lydia Cortez went right after. I love it. I love every minute.
You loved it? What do you mean you loved it? You're supposed to be unbiased. That's why I've got to sit up here and put up with people like you.
But I've seen the things that you've done to other people in the ring.
You haven't seen me do anything that isn't fair and right, Steve Staggs. And how can you sit and tell me you love that girl getting me down and trying to tear my eyes out or something? Let me tell you something, Steve Staggs. You are a very unbiased man.
Well, let me tell you something, Miss Fantasy. You have not seen the last of Lydia Cortez.
Oh, wow.
Stay
I'm really
tuned,
scared.
because coming up next, it's the fabulous Zulu going into the ring. Armand Hussein at ringside. It's coming up after this.
Texas All-Star Wrestling coming to Elgin, Texas at the Elgin High School Gym Saturday, April the 5th at 7:30 p.m. Advance tickets available at the Elgin High School office and the Elgin Chamber of Commerce. Then, don't forget, big card at the Austin City Coliseum Wednesday, April the 2nd, 7:30 p.m. Remember, kids' tickets on those big cards, only $3. At the City Coliseum, you're going to be seeing Al Madril in the ring with Sky Casey attached to a bull rope. You're going to be seeing Al Gavigan versus the Grappler. Ivan Putski returns to Austin against Kareem Muhammed. And Lydia Cortez teaming with Buddy Moreno against the combination to my right, the Golden Boy, Mike Golden, and Fantasy. Fantasy, you just got your license. I know you must be nervous about making your ring debut in Austin.
Nervous? Are you kidding? I realize this is my first time in the ring, but let me tell you something. I have been trained well. I know everything. I've got the confidence. I'm going to tear Lydia apart. I'm going to make Lydia see who the best woman is, and that is me, baby. So, Lydia, you better watch out because I have been trained and trained very well.
Al Madril, everybody very well aware of the situation between you and Scott Casey. You jumped Scott Casey during a match. Now, Texas All-Star Wrestling has granted Scott Casey his choice of match. He chose the bull rope, a match where he has never lost.
Well, I'll tell you what, this has got to be the biggest conspiracy I've ever seen in my life. First of all, Scott Casey, you have no business being back in Texas. I ran you out. What are you doing back here? And anybody knows that anybody who should have a title match should be right here, baby. Me, not you. Okay, I got this bull rope match. I don't want this type of match. I didn't ask for this type of match. But you know what? I went there to help Austin Idol, and what happened? He turned against me. Gary Hart says he don't like this. Well, you know what, Gary Hart? I don't like this either. You told me Austin Idol was with me. Well, is he with me or against me? I don't really care. But Scott Casey, I got something coming with you, baby. I don't want this type of match. But I never back down from nobody, baby. So I'll get in there with you, and I don't care what type of match it is. And I'll get that bull rope, and I'll put it around your neck and take care of you once and for all, because you're going to go down.
Texas All-Star Wrestling in Seguin. Let's pick up the action. From Atlanta, Georgia. A little choking, maybe, by Zulu, but Tom Jones, the athlete that he is, keeps coming back. There's a forearm that staggers the magnificent Zulu.
Steven, you keyed it. Tom Jones is a tremendous athlete in his own right. He may be fighting on instinct, but you can bet he's going to keep fighting. Zulu's going to have to earn this match. Tom Jones won't give it to him.
Zulu pounds the back of Tom Jones. Jones comes up with a forearm of his own. There's one across the chest by Zulu. One across the back by Zulu. Come on, Tom Jones. I'd like to see you get up and take care of Zulu and Armand Hussein at the same time.
Well, Zulu's the holder of the Texas Tag Team Championship with Al Madril, and you're looking at why not a whole lot of wrestlers can keep up with Zulu once he starts dishing out the punishment. Look at the body on the Zulu.
Yeah, but you know what they did on the opening to Big Bubba? They were out here. Bubba, being a gentleman, was talking about he'd give anybody a chance. Then they start pounding on him for no reason at all. They just wanted to make sure that Big Bubba would never make the weightlifting contest. And Bubba's going to surprise him, I hope.
And you talk about a class act, Steve. Bubba refuses to use the injury as any kind of an excuse. He still plans on coming out here and living up to his promise as a man of his word and competing, and he refuses to use that injury as an excuse to postpone it.
I want to remind all you fans in Corpus Christi that Texas All-Star Wrestling Television on the road with the whole crew will be there at the Memorial Coliseum right on the beach.
We had a good time last time.
Sure did. We're going to be there on April the 10th. That's on a Thursday night. Tom Jones thrown onto the apron. The referee is tied up with Hussein. Here's Jones being picked up. Brought into the ring and slammed by the magnificent Zulu. And we're at the Wrestleton in San Antonio every Monday night. Come on over, we want to see you.
And again, Zulu's using the fact that Armand Hussein's got the referee distracted to take some advantage on Tom Jones. And now he's getting the bone, Steve. There's the bone. There's that religious symbol. And right now he's giving Tom Jones the religious symbol in the stomach and in the back.
That's what they used to pound on Bubba. Now, as the referee was tied up, Zulu hangs the bone back over the pole. Zulu covers up Tom Jones, and he's going to get the 3 count. The fans boo, and I don't know. If I was as big as Zulu, I don't think I'd have to use no bone. But that's what Hussein tells him to do. And there, the hand of the magnificent Zulu raised in victory. Well, coming up in just a little while, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to find out if Big Bubba can make the weightlifting contest. But before then, I want to remind you that wherever Texas All-Star Wrestling is held during the month of March, you can register for the beautiful Honda 4-Tracker 125 that will be given away on Easter Sunday. You do not have to be present to win. If you're under 18 years of age, we ask that you have the entry form signed by your parents or your legal guardian. Anybody can enter. And the Honda 4-Tracker 125, courtesy Cycle World Honda San Antonio and Texas All-Star Wrestling, could be yours to enjoy all over Texas this coming summer. Miss Fantasy, would you like to have that Honda?
You know, Steve Stacks, that'd be real nice for some little kid out there that really needs that Honda. But I don't have to win anything. My daddy can buy me anything I want, and I'm not used to riding on anything like that. I don't ride in anything less than a limousine, baby. You know this, Steve Stacks.
Yeah, but I know, but I'm sure there are a lot of people who would like to have this Honda 4-Tracker. I'd like to have it myself. Take to the beach, Corpus Christi, where we're going to be with Texas All-Star Wrestling on the road on the 10th of April. It'd be a lot of fun.
Well, it would be a lot of fun, Steve Stacks, but like I said, I don't like anything less than a limousine.
Well, you'll have to settle for the Honda 4-Tracker, but you're not eligible to win anyhow because you're associated with Texas All-Star Wrestling. That Honda 4-Tracker could be yours. Don't forget to register during the month of March. Stay tuned. Weightlifting coming up next? Maybe. That he has decided that the shoulder is well enough to enter the weightlifting contest. There's $1,000 on the line. He says he can outlift the Zambui Express.
Are you joking, Steve Stacks? You think Big Bubba, the big fat sissy that he is, can outlift the Zambui Express?
There's $1,000 up.
I don't care what's up. Big Bubba can't do it. He ain't nothing but, like I said, a big fat sissy.
Well, Bubba had the shoulder worked on with the help of Ivan Putski and one of the medics there at the Guadalupe County Coliseum. He's ready for the action, so let's show you what happens in the weightlifting contest. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have our first official weight. Bob Dixon, what weight are we going to start with?
Officially loaded at 225.
225 pounds is what we're going to start at. 225 pounds. Zambui Express is first at 225 pounds. 225, you're first, Zambui.
Wait a minute! I want to know how the lady's arm doing over there.
His arm is all right. We don't already have to worry about that. We already checked it out. All we want for you is to lay on the bench.
Wait a minute. Who is this guy right here?
I told you earlier, that's Mr. Bob Dixon of the Olympic Gym. He is the official judge of the weightlifting contest. Now,
Wait a minute. Where's the Olympic Gym at? Where's it at? I ain't heard of it.
It's located in San Antonio.
San Antonio, Texas. And Big Fat Blubber is one of his students.
On the bench, please. 225 pounds.
Shut up while I'm up here and concentrate.
Here goes the Zambui Express.
How's your shoulder?
Don't worry about Big Bubba's shoulder. Worry about the 225 pounds. Here we go. Zambui Express has it up, takes it up. Hussein says that's enough. He got the 225 pounds. The money is right here. This gentleman's holding it right there. Bubba, 225 pounds. Are you sure the shoulder's all right?
I already said they want to do it, right?
Away with that money. That's
Okay.
right. That Bob Dixon will be trying to buy more equipment for that gym.
Here we go. Now, he didn't bother you, so you don't bother him.
I'm not going to bother Big Blubber.
Here we go, Big Bubba. 225 pounds. Looky here. Here goes Big Bubba. Once. Very, very easy. Big Bubba got the 225 out. Bob, what weight are we going?
Load the bar to 275.
275 is next. 275. We're going to load them up. Now, the Zambui Express finding the comfortable spot on the bench. 275 pounds. Let me see.
How many times do you want to lift it? I don't want you to lift it no 20 times. Just one time. Don't lift it 20. Just one time.
Here we go. 275 pounds. He has it up. Press. He got it all the way. 275 for the Zambui.
Give me the money. What?
You want to lift off?
The shoulder's bothering me a little bit.
Just a minute, Jack Stack. Just a minute. What that Big Blubber wants to lift off is...
Now, we've got two gentlemen from the Olympic Gym. You just come on over here out of the way. Here we go with the lift off. I got it up. Got it down. And Big Bubba got it. Big Bubba got the 275.
He got it. He got it.
Here we go. Now the Zambui Express is down. The bars have been loaded at 315 pounds. And here he's got it up. And he's got it. 315. Big Bubba.
Tell Big Bubba to give you the money now. Give us the money now.
Big Bubba. 315 pounds. Big Bubba would like to have another liftoff. Big Bubba would like to have another liftoff as he gets ready. The weights are 315 pounds.
And Bob Dixon standing over there, he looks like he's a little nervous because Bubba's his buddy.
Let me come on. I want you.
Bob Dixon want me to join the Olympic Gym.
Here we go. Bubba has the 315 up. Straining. Bubba got it. Wait a minute. Bubba got the 315.
He didn't lock that arm out there. Bob Dixon, he didn't lock his arm. What?
There was an official lift. Bob, can we load the bar to 350? 350. 350. 365. 365.
That's too fast. That's too fast. You cannot go up that quick.
And now, The Zambui Express is going down for 365 pounds.
I'm sweating because it's hot in here. And that's because I'm nervous.
I believe you're nervous.
Did nobody ask you what you thought?
Here we go. Here we go. 365 pounds. Zambui Express concentrating on the weight. He's asked for a lift off. Here's the lift off. He's got it down. And he's got it up. Official lift. An official lift. Big Bubba is going to attempt 365 pounds. Here we come. Step back. Let the man concentrate. He's got it up. He's got...
Take the weight.
He couldn't do it. Bubba, the shoulder just wouldn't allow the lift to 365.
Yes, but I promise these people, I'm a man of my word, so I have an injury, but I lifted anyway. And here's the money.
But I want to say this to you, brother. You're a good trial horse. The most honorable one would be just as nice to you as you are to your fans out there. We'll give you another chance to just name the place. All you got to do is bring some more money and get some of Rich Bob Dixon's money. He owns a gym.
Anytime you want. Why don't you name the price?
There you go. Well, there you have it. The challenge was issued for Big Bubba.
We'll be ready for it.
They said they'll put up the money. They're very ready for your big rematch. Right. And that big rematch will be right here next week on Texas All-Star Wrestling. Big Bubba, being the gentleman he was, he didn't come out as furious as you thought because of what happened on the Open. That's because back in the dressing room, some of the other wrestlers tried to get Bubba to let him come out and help him in case they interfered again. But Bubba just wanted to show all the youngsters and all the great fans out there who support him all the time that there are other ways than violence to settle a situation. And that's why Big Bubba was as calm as he was. He lost. But there's always another time, and that time may be next week.
I knew that, Pepper Lord.
Stay tuned, because the Polish Power, Ivan Putski, is next, right here on Texas All-Star Wrestling.
Texas All-Star Wrestling at the Austin City Coliseum. Wednesday night, April the 2nd, 7:30 p.m. That night, you're going to be seeing a bull rope match. Scott Casey versus Al Madril. Al Gavigan versus the Grappler. Ivan Putski versus Kareem Muhammed, the Zambui Express. And Buddy Moreno, I know you're in a good mood today because you've got a partner, Lydia Cortez, and you've got a match against Mike Golden and Fantasy. Fantasy will be enticed as a legal contestant.
That's right, Mike. That's a match that we're looking for because the Mike Gordon, he owe me a lot of things, and that's going to be the night when they go pay for. Yo quiero decir a todos los paisanos que yo nunca le he pegado a una mujer, nunca le he tocado, pero no quiero pegarlo, pero mi compañera sí le va a pegar a esa y le va a dar bien duro y le va a mover para todos los pelos, se lo va a arrancar. Así es que, Fantasy, prepárase. Y tú, Mike Gordon, también, porque nosotros, yo y mi compañera, le vamos a ganar en el medio del ring. 1, 2, 3.
Waiter, I don't think you left us enough.
Ivan Putski has returned to Texas. He's in the ring now. Let's go there. Being introduced here to the crowd in Seguin, Texas, on Texas All-Star Wrestling as he battles it out with Shotgun Danny Gage. And look at Gage come in behind Putski, and Putski just turns around and says, look here. Gage is about to get a Polish power lesson as Ivan Putski reaches down, grabs Shotgun Danny Gage, pounds him, down goes Gage. Polish Power, one of my favorite wrestlers, Ivan Putski. Off the ropes comes Danny Gage, and there's the big hammer, the Polish hammer. 1, 2, 3, and it's all over. Ivan Putski, very quickly on his return here on Texas All-Star Wrestling, comes up with a Polish hammer and pounds. Wow, what a Polish hammer. Let's take a look at that again. Off the ropes comes Danny Gage, and there's the big hammer, the Polish hammer. 1, 2, 3, and it's all over. Ivan
Putski very quickly on his... Spectacular return to the ring from Krakow, Poland, Ivan Putski.
You know, just want to say it's good, and I'm glad to be back here in Texas. My roots are here. I'm from Texas. Been all over New York, WWF, AWA. You name it, I've been there. But I came down here to clean house. I've seen what these people have been trying to prove. They've been hurting, maiming these wrestlers. Well, I live here, so I decided to come back here, kick big names. Polish style, you understand what I'm talking about?
Well, Ivan, it's been too long since you've been back in Texas. It's good to have you back.
It's good to be back, and I want to say hi to everybody. And I'll be in Beaumont this Sunday, and I want to see my Polish army down there.
Ivan Putski, Steve Stack, he looks as good as ever.
Better.
Ivan Putski will return here to Texas All-Star Wrestling next week, along with the very big man, the $1 Million Man, Bruiser Brody, plus the weightlifting contest. Big Bubba's back. There's $2,000 on the line next week. And Miss Fantasy, the Cowboy Scott Casey, will be going up against the Golden Boy, but the Texas Longrider will be in Scott Casey's corner.
Well, I don't know how he's going to work that out, Steve Stacks, but he better watch out because he's going up against a real man this time, and that's the Golden Boy.
Thank you very much for coming and being with us today.
Thank you, Steve.
That's next week here on Texas All-Star Wrestling. All that action. Don't miss it. Till then, Steve Stack saying so long.